Once we have a massive highway, then people can commute in 15, 20 minutes.
I think our people should be happy. Why we are doing this is because you played a role in bringing us to government.
So a lot of focus is always given on Lagos State because Lagos is literally the economic capital of Nigeria, and Lagos contributes to the GDP by 15%, about $84 billion, and Lagos has the largest population, about 22 million people. But in a close second, we have Rivers State that has the second highest internal generated revenue just after Lagos, and sometimes having and finding these figures online tends to be difficult, so I'm going to be using 2021 figures. Rivers State is the close second, the treasure base of the nation, where a lot of the oil that we sell is being drilled. So it behooves us to pay attention to Rivers State. So I'm going to do a comparison between two places that I have some level and form of expertise. I've stayed in Rivers State probably 2 decades of my life, and also I've stayed in Lagos probably up to a decade, and we are going to be seeing which one should you invest in if you have money, if you're looking to invest for various reasons, and most importantly, making a return. So which should you consider, Rivers State or Lagos State? Let's go. Rivers State has an internal debt of about 222 billion compared to Lagos that has an almost 1 trillion naira domestic debt that they are servicing at the moment. And as far as capital infrastructure go, which is something that we should pay attention to, Rivers State has mostly focused on flyovers, bridges, this sort of infrastructure. Lagos has seen a much more eclectic diversity in their infrastructural development. So you have trains, you have the free zones that they are going to be, in Lagos State. You have new seaports, and they are varied, and they are more diverse, and they are more capital intensive. So let's drill down. What is Rivers State doing with all of this money? What is Lagos State doing with all of this money? And how does that affect? Because public infrastructure, they affect the prices of real estate, and they affect the market. And Keynesian economics says that there's a direct correlation between government spending and also output. So how are these things, how do they factor into your decision if you're considering these two places to invest? Now, before I start, let me just say something. Former aspirant, he actually released information on how Lagos State budget has been, and how spending has been for the past one year and quarterly. For those of us that pay taxes in Lagos and live in Lagos, how your government is spending your money. But when I tried to find out about Rivers State, I went to their site. Like I said, most of the information I was seeing was from 2021, but I went to the site and I realized that the site was mostly stock photos and stock images and stock text. So I could not really find anything. So some of those links were leading me to dead ends. And would you believe the only link that actually worked, that you could take me to what I wanted to see, was the link to pay your tax? Obviously they want so that will work. And I tried to go back to the former admin, the outgoing governor, which is Governor Wike, Yesom Wike, to see the projects on the side, but all the projects I could see was just that of the current guy, Sim Fubara. So what have they used this money for, and how would that affect your investment decisions? That's what I'm going to be talking about today. So the first thing I'm going to be talking about is, like I said, the infrastructural ideology. And so critics have said that there was just so much focus in Rivers State, first of all, on the urban areas. That's PortHarcourt. PortHarcourt is the city, the garden city. There was so much focus, and then you'd see different bridges. A total of 18 flyovers or bridges was built by the former admin. And now, how that correlates or transfers or transposes real estate growth, economic growth, and a better standard of living is yet to be seen, because many people, it was a harshly and contested planning ideology, because some people got demolished and claimed they were not paid compensation, especially those around that Ikoku access where they did, and they did some in GRA, they did some in Rumogba, being spread around Rumukrushi and all of those areas. And that was basically what he focused on. and the Minister of Works and also the governor said that it was going to increase the value of land there. It was going to improve improve real estate, draw in investors, and we don't really measure things in this country, but that's like so much yet to be seen.
While filling these gaps, has it been able to feel the pulse of the people to really know that these projects are impactful and making a difference in their lives?
Especially our road and flyover projects makes ease of doing business in Rivers State very, very much easier. It boosts ease of doing business in Rivers State. Houses, the cost of properties are getting higher because of all of this infrastructural development.
You compare with Lagos, where you have projects like the Ekpe to Eleko, that road had been done. You see the widening from Eleko down to Aja. You see the VGC regional road. You see the Opebi to Ojota Link Bridge, and all these things. It's even work is being done at Mile 2. It's more spread, and we can actually see the direct impact in prices of real estate. You can see the direct impact in how the quality of life of people. So in that comparison, you be the judge on who the winner is. And also, when we talk about geography, Rivers State is coastal, so as Lagos as well. Lagos is flanked by both the lagoon and the Atlantic Ocean, and Lagos has some really crazy benefits in that you have various. In fact, Lagos is the major port that brings goods into Nigeria. It's from Lagos. Obviously, the proliferation of economic activities, driving businesses, driving industries, just for that fact. And Rivers State, they had the Abonima Wharf, and there were some sort of seaports there, but we don't see those sort of that level of activity there. So that's another thing that you think of if you're thinking of, okay, where am I going to set up my real estate investment project in or the other, and considering this geography and how it lies. And obviously, geography affects tourism, because people want to, in fact, lots of Nigerians in the diaspora, they like beachfront land. They want to buy stuff on the beachfront. And the former governor, the last two governors, Rotimi Amici, he did actually want to clear the waterfront. He went to Okrika, and in fact, he demolished lots of those shanties that were there, and that started the rift, the very public rift between him and the former president's wife. And we didn't really see what was done in that aspect, compared to Lagos, where you have to pay through your nose, but you can actually get approval, and you have a $200 million investment like Landmark. You have the Good Beach. You have several of these places, which is driving and attracting revenue, attracting people. People want to come. We have like Campaign Tropicana. People travel down to go to like Campaign Tropicana. So when we look at River State, we don't really see much of that in factoring in drawing people, even though they have they have good shoreline, they have rivers, literally they have rivers there, and that should also be another consideration. And closely related to tourism is also safety, social life. As at some 10 years ago, 10 to 5 years ago, that's when this whole militancy stuff started. And obviously people in Nigeria Delta, they were agitating that the oil was being produced there and we're not seeing the benefits in our city. Then we started talking about the Ogoni cleanup and this and that and that. And a lot of oil companies actually withdrew their staff from Rivers State and took them to Lagos. In fact, most of the oil workers that are still working, what they plan is that when they retire, they move on. And I know at least 5 people that actually have retired, finished working in the oil company, working in PortHarcourt, working in either Shell, Total, Halliburton, these big oil giants, and they moved to Lagos. So as far as the safety, in fact, someone even told me that when he had a kidnap scare, he literally ran away and left his property. So would sort that out, and right now he's working and doing business in Lagos. So I believe things have improved greatly, but as far as that social aspect of making people want to stay there for long and who are living there because they feel like they'll have a better life in Lagos, then maybe things need to be done better to make people feel more at home. There's the pleasure park, more of those sort of stuff, so that people have like this social congruence, so to speak, in that place. But Lagos has all of those things, and so people would likely see themselves going to Lagos. And I've even had some investors, oil workers in that work and live in PortHarcourt, that have flown down to Lagos to come and invest in Alaro City. And I know that like River State is supposed to have some of those free zones, and if policy can be driven in such a way that there is those things are being worked on, then I think it will have a better fighting chance. But for now, I think Lagos takes the cake in that it's more social, more heterogeneous, and you would see people probably from every different states coming to stay there just for that social status. Now obviously, let's talk about the population. Lagos is densely populated, 22 million. You compare this 22 million to about 7 million of River State, like 7 million population, is not even up to half. And obviously, as an investor, if you're investing for commercially office space, you're investing for rent, with a deficit of about 2 million in Lagos, about 2 million housing deficit in Lagos, you need to ask yourself, okay, which one would give me the better return on my investment? Which one would give me the better return on my investment? And also, politics is a huge risk. It's a huge risk consideration in real estate investment, because you don't know how policy direction is going to go. So Lagos and River State, you can actually call them more or less a one-party state, because you can see the PDP having at the helm of affairs for the past 3 decades. Same with Lagos State. APC have been there, although by a different name, but the APC also have been there close to 3 decades. But the difference in the policy direction is that if you see in River State, when Rotimi Amechi came, he did lots of radical reforms. He did lots of healthcare centers. He did lots of tree planting. He did lots of all those things. He did lots of demolition and started doing some infrastructural changes. Which was very different from what Odili did. Odili did, didn't do that much as regards to that. And Amechi also came across with the Greater PortHarcourt project. So he proposed a ring road, and also he proposed a monorail for easy access and movement. That monorail was to cost billions of dollars, and obviously it has not come to fruition up till now. So when Amechi came in, he actually introduced a kind of a new zoning regime. I think it was a layer on top of the River State master plan. You could build this, you could build that, and then you had to actually go to the registry to check where your land lies in the master plan before you even build anything. Then Wike came and said, Rivers people can build whatever you want to build. He abolished the Greater PortHarcourt project. And as far as the policy directions and the political landscape go, compared to Lagos, that has kind of seen a much more stable policy direction, because you're seeing the same party in power and also the same patronage system, in that they actually agree, and there's a continuity. So there's no one person coming and say, okay, this is my predecessor didn't know what he was doing, and then you cut it off. But I think that you're starting to see maybe that's something similar that will happen in River State, because right now you're seeing this new guy, Sim Fumbara, is continuing the legacy of Wike, and they've actually paid 75% for the ring road project. So it's going to be a ring road project that's going to affect massively, in a positive way, I hope, River State real estate, because it's going to join both the rural areas, and you're going to be able to go around River State. Obviously, Amechi introduced this in his time, but he never implemented it. And so you can just see the different touch points from a tourist, from a social, from an infrastructure, from a policy, and from a political point of view. So you'd be able to look at it from this direction, obviously from a population point of view, and make your trade-offs, and as an investor, make the final decision on whether to invest in River State or to invest in Lagos, and which one will give you the better return that you seek. Thank you so very much for watching. This is the Ownahome, the NDTV show. Yeah, Ownahome, we believe owning a home, owning a property should not make you lose sleep. So we're committed to giving you the very best property recommendations and insider real estate is. Thank you so very much for watching. Kindly like, kindly share, kindly subscribe, and I will see you at the very next video. Bye bye.